All right, so, man, people are insane. First of all, the insanity of somebody trying to knock off a politician is just not the answer. Whether you be a hardcore conservative and don't like Joe Biden, or you don't like Obama, or you don't like this or that, or a Democrat shooting a Republican politician, it's never the answer. Unless they were executing people, then you got to take them out of office, but not by execution. You got to do it. There's ways to do it. Anyway, let's not get into all that. It's never the answer. We'll just say that, right? It's just sick that people can actually look at another life because their feelings got hurt so bad that they feel the need to take out another a politician, a presidential candidate or a president, what have you. It doesn't matter. It's insane. With that being said, all right, so I saw on YouTube this morning a video of this guy with a red, like a tennis hat, whatever, that was seemingly at the Trump rally afterwards talking to people, talking about how he saw the shooter and he was telling the Secret Service and the police about it, and they were just looking like, and running around kind of like, hesitant. And then people, of course, regardless of, regardless of the way that this guy is talking, if you read his mannerisms, to me, he sounds like he's full of shit. Not saying that what he's saying didn't happen to some degree. I'm not saying it's perpetuated, that he's making stuff up, but people love attention. Camera comes up like, oh yeah. And then not only that, stuff happens so fast, there comes those situations, you don't really rationalize it in your brain right away. There's just so much there that just seems off about the way the guy's talking. Maybe he's being legit. Some people exaggerate things. We've all met them. We all know people like that. They don't fine point the details. They fine point what they feel is pertinent, and then they modify it to what makes them look and sound important. Not saying that's what this dude's doing, but here's the deal. The biggest issue about this whole thing, let's just even forget about all of that. In the one video, excuse me, where the guy was posting that partial interview of this guy too. See, I'm one that believes in looking at the whole interview, not just 10-second clip. Or it was a YouTube short, and then whatever. So I watched more of it, and I'm like, whatever. It doesn't really matter what the guy said. We know what happened, right? But the comments in there, one of the first comments that I see is, "Oh yeah, it was an inside job." My God, not everything is an inside job. Not everything is a conspiracy. Not everything is subject to intertwinings that are worked against stuff. Some things are, some things aren't. You got to have a balance in that stuff. You can't just believe that everything's, it was manipulated. Now, I have seen factual video, unaltered video and stuff that has happened in the recent past with a lot of stuff that I know for a fact that they are perpetuating, and a lot of stuff is manipulated. But you got to cross-reference your details. You can't just believe what you're told. You believe nothing of what you're told. Nothing. You believe little, if at all, anything of what you see, because videos can be manipulated. And then you got to cross-reference, and don't believe in just 10-second videos. Don't believe in anything until you actually can definitively check multiple, not one, and especially not just confirmation bias bullshit. Not one outlet or source or whatever, but you got to cross-reference this stuff, man. But people won't do it. They want to jump to their, oh my God, it was an inside job. Let me explain to you something about the ignorance of that. It's stupid. Cross-reference The Theory of Stupidity by Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Okay? I'm just going to leave it up there. Leave that up to you guys. It's important to understand that theory. What it is, why it is, how it's explained, because it correlates very heavily to the mass majority of people, at least here in the United States. Okay? There are more stupid people than there are people with common sense in this world. And far less people are smart. Okay? It's up to you to educate yourself. We're all ignorant. Okay? When you talk about the whole universe, we're all ignorant. So let's get into the whole shooting with Trump. For one, the AR-15 ideology of it being the biggest, baddest weapon of terror. My God. That's media conglomerates. just perpetuating to make it look like such. All guns are dangerous. Okay, every gun is dangerous. Some are more dangerous, more powerful, more capable. It just depends on the situation. They all have their benefit. Well, some of them are outdated. Okay, so they don't have a benefit anymore so much. But if you eliminate the idea of them being outdated, every gun has where it excels in a certain class. Like a 22 is a small caliber, right? It's not going to excel as a self-defense gun. It can be used as one. It's not my choice. But if 22 is like a small game gun that's very accurate if you get the right gun with the right scope, and you can knock off destructive vagrants like chipmunks and red squirrels. They do destroy stuff. They will chew up wiring in your house and build nests in there and burn your house down. It has happened. They chew on stuff relentlessly. A lot of times your car's parked outside, that's what they're doing. They chew on the wiring. Anyway, 9mm pistols, 45 pistols, 40 cal pistols, 380 pistols. They all have where they excel in certain areas. Although the 380, it excels because it's a lot more prominent to find one that's very, very extremely minuscule in size, so it's not bulky and in your way if you try to work in tight spots. And you want, I don't know, people say, oh, you shouldn't have it on you when you work. You should always have your gun on you. If you have a gun and you have a CPL, you're an idiot if you don't always have it within arm's reach. You got that gun for self-defense, for protection. You don't think that somebody can break in your house? It should be on your headboard. Strategically set. If you reach up, your hand's upside down. It should be able to reach and grab it, right? Not like this, or like you got to, you got to be able to easily access it. But anyway, this shooter that shot Trump, it was not an inside job. Maybe the police ran around panicked. That's why they didn't take him seriously. Maybe they thought the guy was full of shit. Maybe they were just like, hey, maybe they lacked the skill set. Who knows? Okay, we don't know the detail of who was Secret Service, who was the police, because it wasn't all just Secret Service. And sometimes people just assume that they're all together. Oh, they were, underskilled, and it was an inside job. And maybe it was two groups, and one group excelled more than the other. Who knows? We don't know. We weren't there. We don't know what this guy really saw, what he's actually getting as far as details correctly, and whether he's even telling the truth at all. We don't know. A lot of people like that 15 minutes of fame. Now, an accurate professional shooter, if they're the DNC, or Secret Service, or both, or anybody was conglomerating to perpetuate an assassination on Donald Trump, there's so many flaws with what happened. Okay, Donald Trump, when he was shot in the ear, there was a hesitation. Okay, there was 3 shots. Now people say, well, it was 6. No, it was an echo. It was crack, crack. Okay, the bullet, the echo, bullet, the echo, bullet, the echo, and it wasn't even that fast. It was crack, crack, and then he had enough time to get his ear. For one, a professional sniper would not be using an AR-15. I'll get into that in a second. Professional shooter wouldn't have missed, especially at 200 or 300 yards. A decent shooter, 200 and 300 yards, is not a difficult shot to hit that accurately with an AR-15 if you know what you're doing. Okay, and you don't even have to be a professional. Okay, that's a difficult shot if you don't practice. It's a difficult shot with anything if you don't practice. Okay, if you practice and you're not even a professional gunsman, you can take that shot and hit it pretty good. Yeah, some people argue and say, well, Trump turned his head. Doesn't matter. A professional shooter will take the shot when it is correct time to take it. They read the body language of the person, the target, okay? And the angle that he was at, turning his head like that, he only turned his head minuscule, a little bit. And if anything, this side was to the shooter. So when he turned his head like this, he actually put his head this way, right? Made his target bigger. The shooter still grazed his ear, okay? Then there was pause. Then he shoots again. Then there was pause. And I know some people say, no, it was pretty quick. In your minds, it's quick. But as understanding firearms, that's a pause, okay? The last group of 5 shots that you heard, that crack, 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 that was him panicking. The guy panicked. A professional shooter wouldn't have missed on 3 shots. Well, he didn't miss, but he missed his target. Okay, he wouldn't have missed. When Trump reached for his ear, he would have been like, oh, crap, and got him again.
When the Secret Service agents surrounded Trump, those 5 shots, they were Hail Marys. You have 30 rounds. The AR-15, ideally, if you had a 30-round magazine, you probably did. He fired off 8 shots, they say. He could have shot at those Secret Service agents, and the likelihood of him getting Trump would have been pretty high. But nope, he didn't shoot at the Secret Service agents. That's an inexperienced shooter. He panicked. He didn't have any experience, and I would lean to say he probably didn't have any gun experience. He probably didn't even own an AR before more than a week or 2 before he tried this, if not days. He probably went and got an AR for the intentions of what he did. Now, here's another thing. Let's go on top of this. Let's go to the aspect of firearms. A sharpshooter's not that wants to especially do an assassination attempt. And I'm saying this because if it's an inside job, they are professional. They're trained. They don't panic because they're trained for that. I had a buddy who was on SWAT team. He says, I work out hardcore, get my blood flow going, and then I go train for SWAT because you're never going to be calm. You want to get your blood pressure and everything elevated because in the circumstances, when that happens, it's going to happen. You can't be calm. You have to learn to control that situation and not let yourself get all jittery and nervous. And, so you got to get yourself elevated so you can train yourself to control it. That right there is the reason, one of the main reasons that points out this guy was not professional, which means he was not it was not an inside job by the Secret Service, who are highly trained. Now, they do screw up, they're human, but not to the extent of what this guy did. Every single measure of what this guy did was a screw up. If you want to say he was, it was an inside job, he was a hired shooter. They wouldn't use an AR-15, okay? Any avid gun guy who has a safe, 70% of his guns in that safe, the average guy, are more powerful, deadly, and have more impact than an AR-15. An AR-15 is a glorified .22 with a lot more power behind it. Same size projectile. Longer, but same diameter. And yes, they're designed to tumble if you get the 193. I'm not going to get too much into details about all of that because some of you people are sick and you don't need to know everything. Anyway, there are other rifles that are far more suitable for sharpshooting than an AR-15. Yes, a good shooter can take that shot, but a professional is not going to use an AR. An AR is, everybody over glorifies it because it's tactical, it looks military-esque. It's a semi-auto. It's no different than a 9mm pistol, 45. You can go on and on. Okay, there are hundreds of different caliber types, even hunting rifles that are semi-auto. Same, not same setup, but they fire rapid fire. One pull, one of the trigger, one fire, one discharge. Okay. A precision shooter would have been a bolt action, something probably in 30 caliber. And I can tell you there's 30-06, 30-30, 270, 7mm, 300 Win Mag, 300 PRC, 6.5 Creedmoor. It's not 30 caliber, but still, all of these calibers are far more suitable. They're long-range shot calibers. And they would have been way more accurate, deadly, and capable than a 5.56 round. Okay? 70% of most people's hunting rifles are more deadly and capable than AR-15. And people say, well, they can hold more rounds. That's the only thing that's advantage to an AR. 2 things. The lack of recoil and the 30-round magazines, but you can get large magazines for a lot of these other firearms too. Okay. You don't need 30 rounds when you're trying to take precision round shots on targets. 30-round magazines serve no purpose unless you're practicing or you're just a sick son of a bitch trying to execute a lot of people. But when you're trying to take out one target or 2 targets or 3, you don't need 30 rounds. It's a waste. It means nothing. Having more ammo means nothing in that situation. Okay? And the more rapidly you fire, the less accurate you are. It's just ballistic. It's velocity. It's physics. It's science. Here's another thing about most gun people, or people that proclaim. 95, if not up to 99% of AR-15s are not rifles. They are carbines. If you don't understand the difference of that, then you shouldn't be talking about guns. You look at every single one of those ARs that the Secret Service has had that they show in the video, every single one of those is a carbine. The 2 sniper rifles up on the roof, the counter-terrorist, oh my gosh, the counter sniper designated marksman, okay? Those 2 rifles, those are rifles. Those are long-range rifles. Those are not ARs, okay? That's what a long-range professional shooter would have been using, something along those lines if they were trying to assassinate Trump, if it was an inside job. This was incredibly sloppy, stupid, ignorant, low brain capacity. It was a guy that probably had the Trump derangement syndrome, hated Trump, perpetuated by the media. And yes, it is the Democrats' fault, because the media that lies and makes this guy out to look like the devil himself. The lies that they spread that I've seen, I've actually cross-referenced the stuff myself to see that it's blatant bullshit. Okay? The news makes you small-minded people that don't think for yourselves, you're peasants. You're the same people that surrender. You are the same mindset kind of people that surrender their guns to the Germans, the Nazis. Okay? You're the same people that are too stupid to go, you know what, we could overpower them if, there's, let's see, how many thousands of us? There's only a couple hundred of them. But we'll surrender our guns. Okay, that makes sense. You're the same stupid people that do that shit because it makes sense because the gun's the one that kills people. No, it's not. It is the person. And I saw another idiot posted something. Oh, you guys loved your guns when all the school shootings were happening, and now your president was shot, and see, this is what happened. No. Everybody that was pro-gun isn't stupid enough to think like that. You think that way because you're shallow-minded, because you hate the guns. You want to think that we think that way. No, we are all just as pro-gun as we were beforehand, because it's not about the gun. The gun does nothing. See this? Let's see this? That can be a weapon. This can be a weapon. Okay? This can be a weapon. That's it for threading stuff. Okay? This is a handle to keep my hands from getting hurt from threading metal holes. These later, they do nothing. They're tools. Okay? You could jab somebody in the head with this. That could be a weapon. Obviously, this could be a weapon for obvious reasons. This could be a weapon for obvious reasons. But you're too stupid to understand that those are tools. The same thing as a firearm is. It is a tool. It is a tool. It is only a weapon when it gets in the hands of the wrong individual. It is the individual that makes the choice. Same thing with drinking and driving. Do we take all cars away because drunk drivers drink and drive? Well, if there weren't any cars, people wouldn't be able to drink and drive. Yes, true, but you know what? Why punish 90% of people that don't do it because of the less than 10%, but the 2% probably that do it? No, you got to solve the problem. It's the individual, the mental thinking. And when you're putting shit out on TV that's dementing people, what do you think's going to happen? You take the guns away, it's not possible, but if you took all the guns away, they're going to find a way to kill, whether it be a hammer, whether it be a vehicle. If that guy didn't have a gun, he would have probably ran his car through that rally to try to run Trump over. It's the individual's thinking, lack of capacity. You don't have the thinking capacity to think logic. That's logic. It doesn't take an educated person to understand that. But you're too stupid and brainwashed, and you are the people. The reason why you feel that way is why we have problems and sick people, because they're part of your group of people, the people that think out of emotion, not common sense. They don't think with their brain. This guy went and tried to assassinate Trump because he was thinking out of emotion, not out of an inside job. This was definitely not at all an inside job. And going back to, if you don't understand what a carbine and a rifle, the difference is, brother, the difference between the two of them, then you should shut up about guns. You don't even know anything about it. An AR-15 is not an assault rifle. AR stands for Armor Light Rifle. It was the company that created it. Eugene Stoner was the designer back in the 50s. The gun's been around forever. Never had issues until recently with the mass shootings, and they use it because, it's the video game idiots. The people that don't have any kind of, I'm not saying all people that play video games are idiots, but it's the mindset of the people. They don't have any grasp of reality. They come out of this video game dungeon world, and they come into reality, and they see the news. They're going to take away all our freedom. And they start thinking about, the AR-15 is the one that everybody clamors about. It's a weapon of mass destruction. It's evil. Okay. You know how many millions of ARs are in this world? And they're in people's safes, minding their own business? And they'll never be used for murder, never be used to kill, never be used for anything negative? Because it's not the gun. It is definitely the bottom half of overall capable, powerful, and deadly firearms. I'm not saying it's not deadly and powerful and capable. It is very. All of them are. But it is on the bottom half. There are so many out there that are so much more capable. They're not being utilized. Well, they're being utilized. Did you know that pistols, handguns are the number one killer? Between 65 and 70% of all homicides, they use pistols. Because they're concealable. But they don't tell you that. Because they want you to start voting away the AR because you're weak-minded. Let me give you an example. It's kind of like, if you don't know what's going on, it's kind of like people that don't want to deal with politics. All right? Explain this to my nephew. I don't like politics. I don't want to follow it either. You have to if you want your freedom. If you have a bank account, say you have all this money you're dumping into, your life savings, everything goes in there, your paycheck, everything goes in there. And you go in there to pay your bills and to live on. But you also have some people that you trust to also balance your account out, right? And keep track of it. But they're not supposed to take any of your money. They're supposed to set it up for you. But you don't know what your total is. You don't even have the slightest clue of what the total amount of money is in your bank account. And they're stealing from you, little by little. And they're doing it right in front of your face, and they're taking the money out, and it's showing in the balance that it's going down, and they're taking it. But it's not showing. I mean, it's showing, but you're not seeing it because you don't know how much was in there. Now, I know you can do a running total and say, well, you can see the deductions. I'm saying outside of it. This is an analogy, okay? And you don't know what's in your bank account, so you can't see what the amount is they're stealing, and they just keep stealing more and more and more and more, and before you know it, they deplete your whole account. And you don't realize that they stole you blind until you have nothing in your account because it makes sense. It's the same thing with your freedom. If you don't keep up on what's going on, you're going to let your votes, your freedoms be voted and taken away by the minority that are evil. The majority of people are not evil. The majority of people are just lazy and stupid. Evil is not the biggest threat to good. Stupidity is. You can combat stupidity. How do you combat? I mean, you can combat evil. How do you combat stupidity? That's the theory of stupidity by Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Look him up. That's part of it. Very intelligent guy. Well, I don't think he's intelligent. Very logical. See, logical theorists and stuff, they look intelligent to ignorant people because ignorant people go, man, whoa, oh. No, they think. They think. You need to think. This was not an inside job. You're an idiot if you think for a second this is an inside job, you're an idiot. Do I think that the Democratic Party, the machine that's fucking up our system, trying to take it down, is capable, and maybe somebody does have the intentions or has had the intentions of taking Trump out? Absolutely. I have no doubt that somebody in our political system wants to do it or have it done. And if they could get away with it, they would do it. I have no doubt there are people out there that feel like that in our political system. Will they do it? I don't know. I mean, will they try it? I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them at this point. But the point being is, like, this particular situation was not an inside job. You need to wake up and know what to look for. The signs, man. The signs. Think. Use your brain. Stop thinking from emotions, man. That's what you fucking demon seeds and some of you other, even conservatives, man. A lot of you. I'm a proud conservative because I'm an American. Okay, I vote for the Constitution. You can look that up too, but you won't. The difference between conservative and liberal, Republican and Democrat. I won't get into all that. But there are a lot of conservatives out there. I even watch all of the sources on TV, and I doubt them too. Benny Johnson, I like the guy's videos a lot, but you got to watch what he says because a lot he goes off off on a tangent on dumb shit too, like the woman on the plane in Dallas. That I got to get off the plane. I forgot. She was probably on drugs. He goes along with it, like, did she really like see somebody? Maybe. And then all the conspiracy theories, like, come on, man, you got a fucking nut job. Well, it's happened on a couple planes because people play follow the leader. Same thing with the school shooters. They're playing follow the leader. Okay? That's what they're doing. Common sense. When the media perpetuates this shit, that's why it's happening. All these other kids with issues go, well, I'm going to do it because I'm mad at the world because mommy won't let me live in her basement and fix me sandwiches no more, even though I'm 27 years old. That's why people do this dumb shit. And you idiots are too stupid to understand it. But Benny Johnson, I like the dude, but like even him, he's a hardcore, he's definitely conservative. I like the guy, I like his values. But some of the things, man, I'm like, dude, if you want people to take you serious, stop reporting on the stupid shit because your credibility is going to go down. I don't take Benny Johnson serious. I cross-reference. There's some that I take serious. I take their opinions and go, okay, because they're pretty straight to the point, man. Benny Johnson, man, he's reported on a few things that make him look like he's fishing for views. I like the guy. But he is looking for publicity. I think he's trying to be honest. I think he might be honest, but he's posting on shit that an intelligent person that's out there trying to give us education wouldn't have even looked at that. They would have been like, this is stupid. Let the mainstream media or all the other idiots talk about this shit that does nothing for mine in your life. Okay? But no, he clamors in that shit. He indulges in that. And you people go, oh, really? Oh. And then the next one goes, they talk about it. And then they believe. And then you got some other dumbass in Philadelphia or wherever the hell else doing the same damn thing. You got to stick with the sources that are reputable, reliable, consistent, and honest and accurate. Cross-reference. Do your damn homework, people.